Welcome to Tri-Valley Sports Final, your program for the best in local sports action. On this week's show, the Carter McIntosh to Jacob Smithson connection comes up big as Livermore takes on Dublin for the EBAL Boys Volleyball Championship. Sydney Nissen is outstanding as the Amador girls lacrosse team battles Carondelet. And Avery Fink leads the way as the Foothill boys lacrosse team squares off against both Livermore and Amador. All that and much more right here on Tri-Valley Sports Final. Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. I'm Ian Bartholomew. On this week's show, we'll wrap up the EBL boys volleyball season as Livermore takes on Dublin for the league title. We'll also have boys volleyball as Foothill squares off against both Livermore and Amador. And we'll have girls lacrosse as Amador meets Carondelet. And to get us started with that, it's my co-host, Tim Sobrandi.
Great, thank you, Ian. And few teams can match the winning tradition of Amador girls lacrosse. Since the program's inception in the early 2000s, the Dons have posted winning seasons every year, including NCS championships in 2008 and 2014. This year was no exception as the Dons once again ranked among the North Coast section's best, and they recently looked to continue their winning ways as they hosted the Carondelet Cougars. And there you see the Dons are getting fired up before taking the field for this one. And it would be Sydney Nissen with the goal right there. Only a freshman. Amador Valley, early stages, up 4-1. Carondelet answers back. Natalie Hillman with the goal, bringing them within 4-2. And then we see Hillman again, nice pass to the cutting Katie Lynn, who scores to narrow the deficit. But Amador Valley would finish the first on a high note here as Lexi Keegan drives and scores. Dons up 5-3 after one. Go to the second quarter now. Sydney O'Donnell finds Lexi Keegan, who gets inside and does a little maneuver, and she puts one of her 3 goals in the back of the net to extend their lead. And then on the other end, it would be Molly Sidow with a nice save. And then the counter attack. Summer Brown finds Giselle Bauman. Bauman in traffic, finds the back of the net to extend Amador's lead. But Carondelet would stay close. Here we see the pass to Natalie Hillman. She would score. At this point, Carondelet only down 7-5. But the nice save right there by the Amador Valley goalie. And there we see Molly Sidow making another great save. So Amador Valley would be up 7-5 at the half. Third quarter now, Sydney Nissen gets one of her 3 goals. Amador Valley 3-goal advantage at that point. And then we see on the back end more great defense. Look at the Dons converging on the play to make the stop. But Carondelet would continue attacking and ultimately tie the game up right there on a goal by Natalie Hill. Samantha Neeson would end up scoring for Amador Valley, clinging to a 9-8 lead after 3. Dons breaking the huddle now, fourth quarter. It's a tight one, just up 9-8. You're gonna need saves and defensive stops like this by the Dons. That's one of her 7 saves. Amador Valley trying to get a little bit of breathing room with the goal. Madeline Zwanich ends up scoring. Amador Valley another goal to provide a deeper cushion. That time it was Lily Howe. And then we'll finish it with Giselle Bauman with her 2nd goal of the game. And Amador Valley, that would put the game away. There's the Dons in the handshake line afterwards. They're excited about the hard-fought victory. You see it there. Samantha Neeson, Sydney Neeson, Lexi Keegan combined for 8 goals. The Dons pull away for the victory. Amador would ultimately advance to the NCS Division I quarterfinals, where they would lose a close one to Marin Catholic. But despite the loss, definitely a successful season for Amador Valley.
Yeah, they finished ranked 25th in the state and a bright future ahead. 7 leading scorers are coming back next year, including Sydney Nissen with 48 goals last year. Keegan's coming back. She had 35. And the goalie's back, too. So this team's going to be loaded next year.
When you have your 7 top scorers and your goalie back on a team that was 25th in the state, that doesn't bode well for their competition next year.
It looks pretty good for them. We're going to have some boys lacrosse a little later in the show. Up next, we're going to bring you boys volleyball. The EBAL Championship's on the line as Livermore takes on Dublin. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. It promised to be an epic EBAL Boys Volleyball Championship match as 2 of the top teams in the North Coast section recently squared off. The Dublin Gales ranked 2nd in NCS behind nationally ranked Northgate, taking on a team enjoying their best season in school history, the 4th-ranked Livermore Cowboys. Livermore won the 2 regular season matchups between the 2 schools. We go out to Cowboy Alley, pick it up in the 3rd set, tied at 1. Gales and coach Michael Bongay break the huddle. Cowboys serve. Brody DeQuisto bumps to Ink Orshik, Ink Bayar, over to Tristan Cox for the kill. Moments later, Cox passes to Ink Bayar, who feeds Dhruv Vijay Kumar. Now, Ariane Beretti serves it up for a point. That puts Dublin up 24-18. Livermore fights back. Matthew Calloway to Carter McIntosh to Armand Badia. But the Gales come right back. DeQuisto to Beretti to Rishabh Gune, who drops that one over. Dublin wins set 3, 25-20. We move on to set 4. Coach John Buchenauer and his Cowboys break the huddle. Matthew Calloway passes to Carter McIntosh, who feeds Nicholas Manrique. Gales respond with a nice save by Beretti to Ricky Santamaria, over to David Din. Now, Rishabh Gune passes to Beretti, back to Gune for the smash. Manrique now serves for Livermore, and it drops over for an ace. Back and forth we go. Tristan Cox to Beretti, to David Din for the rip. That was the left side. Now Dublin tries the right side of the court. Cox to Ink Bayar to Vijay Kumar. Cowboys battle back. Joseph Ing to Shane Tobek to Armand Badia. He had 4 kills and 6 blocks. This time McIntosh serves. Nice save by Dublin, but Nicholas Manrique is there for the block. Manrique would have a big night. Here he takes the pass from McIntosh and drives it off the opponent. He finished with 12 kills and 4 blocks. Now Ing bumps to McIntosh, who sets to Jacob Smithson. This time Ing serves. Gales look to return, but Miles Ewell is there for the block. More Livermore. Matthew Calloway bumps to Tobek, who passes to Smithson. And that one fires up the Cowboys. Set point now for Livermore. Great dig by Calloway to McIntosh, over to Smithson, who puts it away. He had 20 kills. Cowboys win set 4, 25-18. We move on to set 5. Livermore and the Pony make an appearance. Gales try to set up a kill, but Jacob Smithson is there for the rejection. Dublin answers. DeQuisto to Beretti to Gune. More Livermore as Calloway bumps to McIntosh, over to Ing. This time Badia serves. Gales try to return, but Manrique is there for the block. Again, we go back and forth as these 2 teams are so evenly matched. DeQuisto to Beretti to Ricky Santamaria. Cowboys respond though as the sophomore Uhl comes up with the block. Moments later, he does it again as he takes the pass from Shane Tobek and knocks it down. That puts Livermore up 8-6. Poole had 7 kills and 8 blocks. Dublin continues to battle. Din to Inkbayar to Vijay Kumar. Now, Carter McIntosh serves, and it's an ace. This time, Callaway saves to McIntosh, over to Joseph Ing. He had 4 kills. We move ahead to match point. Gales try to set up a kill, but the Cowboys team up for the block. The Livermore bench rushes the court and the celebration begins. Coach Buchenauer, there's the inflatable once again, the pony. Buchenauer congratulates his team as he shows off the championship plaque. And there are your 2026 EBAL champions, Livermore. Dublin defeats Livermore defeats Dublin 3-2. There you see the final score as the Cowboys win their first boys league title. Afterwards, the team's 3 captains said winning a championship is a dream come true.
It means a lot to me. I'm really proud of our team. I mean, yeah, I came in here, I made varsity as a sophomore, and I never kind of thought that this would be even like a possibility for us. So I'm really proud of the guys for pulling it through. I think a big thing was a lot of our guys are able to come off the bench and play, and we have a very versatile team. And our 5 seniors, I think we all have a lot of experience playing together. So I think those are the big parts of our team.
Coming in as a freshman and seeing like how much we've improved to this day, it means a lot, especially winning E-ball as a senior. It just like really means the world to me. Before the game, we got super loose, made sure our mental was clear, and we fought hard. We know we got a great group of kids, so we just played our hardest, pulled it through.
I think it's really the time that our team has spent together. Like, I've been playing with these guys since like middle school. I've known them since middle school. Like, these are really my brothers, my family out here. And I think we're just sticking together and we're just playing hard like we have this game. This is really important for me. Like, last year was my first year on varsity. I didn't play for half the season, and we didn't like do too great, but we still had a winning season. It just felt a little bummed that we were like near the bottom of the league. And this year, being at the top, it just like, it really like fills my dream. Like, this is what I wanted, like, to be an E-ball champ. It's great.
Both teams would move on to the NCS playoffs, where they would eventually be eliminated. Livermore finishes the year with a final record of 32-5, while the Gales finished 24-6. So outstanding, memorable years for both programs, and quite a year for both teams.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, and what a battle that was.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you really see the teams go back and forth. I'm going to go deep in 5. Hard fought. Congrats to Livermore, their first title, and it was great to see the coaches too. We're in suits on championship day.
Absolutely.
You know, Coach Buchenauer looking sharp. Coach Bongay, dressed up for the championship. So
very nice.
That was a good thing to see too. From Livermore boys volleyball, we're going to go to boys lacrosse. The Cowboys taking on the Foothill Falcons. And there you see Cowboys breaking the huddle, and the Falcons. We pick up the action with Foothill leading 4-2 in the second quarter, and we're going to see some good defense there by Livermore goalie Lucas Bickerton making the save. We'll see more defense here. Saved by Bickerton, keeping Livermore in it. This time, again, the defense shot knocked away. And we're going to see more good defense by Bickerton. The shot from Ethan Lamb. And that'll set things up from Mateo Lordi with the score. 4-3 Foothill after 3. So lots of close matchup heading into the fourth. But James Moitra with the goal put Foothill up 5-3. That's one of his 3 goals for the night. So still a tight one, and Bickerton making the saves, trying to keep the Cowboys in it. And we're going to see it again on the breakaway. Ethan Land's shot, stopped by Bickerton. And yet, there it is again. Bickerton, big night for him, keeping the Cowboys in it. But Foothill just keeps attacking relentlessly. Avery Fink picking up the loose ball, and he would end up scoring. That would be one of his 3 goals. Foothill now a little bit more of a comfortable lead, 6-3. Continuing to attack. This is Sean DeMichelle. Bickerton, another great save. He would finish with 20 saves on the night, and getting picked up there by Zachary Neely, cutting their deficit to 6-4 as we head into the later stages of the 4th quarter. But Foothill continue to attack. An important insurance goal there by Graham Nelson, putting them up by 3 off the pass from Grady DeMichelle. And then we're going to finish it with their final goal of the night, Ethan Lamb finding Jagger Sakamoto behind the net, getting it to Graham Nelson, who fires it away from the wing, would end up scoring. And that would be it as the teams shake hands after the contest. And Foothill ends up winning. Avery Fink, James Moitra, Graham Nelson combining for all 8 goals. The Falcons win. A good victory for Foothill against Livermore and their outstanding goalie, Lucas Bickerton.
Yeah, Bickerton going to Adams State Division II in Colorado next year. He's going to play there. So, I mean, just a lot of stars in this game. We had Morgan from Foothill, their goalie, who was the Defensive Player of the Year in the Valley Division. Neely from Livermore, the Offensive Player of the Year in the Valley Division. And look at all the goal scorers on Foothill, including Fink and Moitra, and a lot of good players in this game.
Yeah, and and it was closer. Final score was 8-4, but closer than the final score would indicate. Only a 1 goal difference heading into the 4th. Foothill got some late goals, great counter attacks, but a nice shot by Bickerton in the net.
And we are just getting started with Foothill. Up next, we'll see the Falcons take on their crosstown rivals, Amador. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Tri-Valley Sports Final. City bragging rights in boys lacrosse were on the line recently in Pleasanton as the Foothill Falcons traveled to Amador to face the Dons. The teams played once earlier this season, with Foothill winning 13-2. And we go out to Amador. Dons trying to split the season series against the Falcons, while Foothill looks for the sweep. Foothill won their first meeting in March. There is the draw. Foothill's Carter Williams going up against Amador's Jacob Peters. First quarter, Preston Sprague fights through the defense and scores, put the Dons on the board. Foothill comes right back though. Grady to Michael to Avery Fink. Fink led the Falcons with 40 goals this year. Now Foothill shows off their defense as Valley Division Player of the Year. Alex Morgan makes the save. Now we move to the second quarter. Falcons go on the attack. DeMichael to Nico Lau for the goal. That puts Foothill up 6-1. Falcons again show off their defense. As the defensive MVP, Alex Morgan makes the stop. He had 8 saves. Amador would also get some good defense from their goalie, Alexander Mihail. Here he makes the save. Moments later, Graham Nelson shoots from point-blank range, and it's knocked away. One more time, the Falcons pass it around for the open shot. Another nice save there by Alexander. He had 23 on the night. Foothill continues to play aggressive. Avery Fink outraces the pack and bounces it in. That puts the Falcons up 7-1. And we close with Fink doing it once again, finding some space and whipping it in. He finished with 5 goals. Foothill goes on to defeat Amador 11-2. Avery Fink leads the way as the Falcons cruise. Foothill would advance to the NCS playoffs. They finished the year with a record of 9-1 in the EBAL, 14-5 overall. So good year for them, coming off a 12-9 season last year, and program is really on the uprise.
Yeah, another sign of improvement, from the year before, and I think it's just kind of those offensive weapons that we talked about in the last segment, and the fact that they do have a lot of different weapons has allowed them to have a lot of success this year.
The Falcons and Granada both finished 9-1 in the EBAL. Granada, however, wins the tiebreaker. They capture the Valley Division Championship for the second straight year. The Dublin girls, meanwhile, also repeated as Valley Division champs. They finished with an EBAL record of 7-1, so congratulations to both those teams. And nice seasons by both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dublin, second year in a row, as you mentioned, and they had never even had that success up to that point. Cooper Easton, a big part of the story in Granada.
Yep.
What a great year by him.
And his brother's the goalie.
And his brother's the goalie, right. So it's keep it in the family. So congrats to both those teams. We'll be back with more, including our Tri-Valley Sports Final Athletes of the Week, right after these messages, so please stay with us.
Our Tri-Valley Sports Final Athletes of the Week are Dublin girls lacrosse player Kaylee Canojo and Livermore boys volleyball player Carter McIntosh. McIntosh held the Cowboys to their first EBAL boys volleyball championship as he led the team with nearly 900 assists. He was also third in digs, fourth in aces, and fifth in blocks. For his efforts, he was named EBAL Player of the Year. Canojo, meanwhile, helped the Gales win their second straight EBAL Valley Division girls lacrosse title. She was named the division's Offensive Player of the Year as she scored 85 goals and dished out 25 assists in 19 matches. For their excellence in local athletics, Livermore's Carter McIntosh and Dublin's Kaylee Canojo are our Tri-Valley Sports Final Athletes of the Week. Congratulations to them, and on our next few shows, we will wrap up the spring sports season. We'll have NCS baseball, softball, boys volleyball, girls lacrosse, swimming, track and field. Just so many sports taking place in the spring.
The spring is wild.
Lots of action.
So many different things. It's a fun time of year, though. I mean, always when you get to the championship season, it's fun. But I think particularly in the spring, you got all these individual sports. You got these different team sports, all the CIF NorCal action. Just a lot of excitement.
And as usual, our athletes doing very well once they move past NCS into some of these state tournaments like swimming.
Yeah, and I want to talk briefly about our athletes of the week this week because I think both of them were really a big part of turnarounds. You look at where 2 years ago where Livermore volleyball was on the rise, but not nearly this strong, and same with Dublin lacrosse. And you look at these two athletes, both McIntosh and Canojo, playing such a key role in elevating those programs that has a lasting legacy.
Yeah, absolutely, and expect those teams to continue that in the future.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
And that's going to do it for this edition of Tri-Valley Sports Final. Tim Sabrani, me and Bartholomew, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.